Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Faith and Fandom Feedback Friday podcasts. Going to keep it brief this morning just because I got to run to HeroesCon and, do my second biggest show of the year. And do those things. So keep the news and stuff brief this morning and roll out. If you're in Charlotte, I look forward to seeing you. Sorry, I'm in black and white on the Facebook stream. My digital camera, or not digital camera, my I don't know, whatever, the camera for my MacBook laptop, I don't know, it's not working right. It's over saturating in brightness. If you're on my phone, you're on TikTok stream, hi, you can see me relatively normally except with a line on my forehead. It's all good. um Jumping into the news for the week, there's a lot going on from sports to faith to religious organizations to government. So just going to kind of hit stuff with a moderate quickness and keep on moving. The Southern Baptist Convention this week voted with a 74% decision to continue to ban women from being pastors within the Southern Baptist Convention, which is not entirely surprising. Um, but what's crazy to me is on the flip side of everything, the PCUSA, which is the Presbyterian Church um, of America, was having another vote at the same time, but their vote was um, like going back and forth on allowing clergy to be in non-monogamous relationships. Um, that they were requiring their clergy to be monogamous, which it's just like such a weird dynamic that on one side you've got people being way here and then the other side over there, and it's just a crazy dynamic of the things that are still in argument with these just within these organizations as a whole. Former Superman and not necessarily welcomed commentator on social things lately. Dean Cain has gotten under fire this week for mocking the appearance of Supergirl, Millie Alcock, uh, and just being offensive to her in terms of her physical appearance. So that's not a good look for any 50-plus-year-old man to be publicly being hateful about the appearance of a young woman, especially someone carrying your own legacy, and it's gross. So, not a great look. Um, MGK, Machine Gun Kelly, suffered a serious injury after the crowd failed to catch him during a crowd surf earlier this week. Um, yeah, he finished his set, but he said he was having trouble breathing as he fell to the ground when the crowd failed to catch him from a very high stage dive. If you've been following with the WWE and the Knicks and the whole world at large, the Danhausen curse has become quite the popular uh thing in terms of who's winning sports events and stuff like that. And Danhausen will curse you or curse others on your behalf for a moderate amount of human monies. And ESPN officially gifted Danhausen a human monies machine, a cash gun, um, for his like contributions to the sporting world. Uh, Toy Story 5 is about to drop, and Taylor Swift wrote an original song for Toy Story 5. I think I mentioned that last week. But at the premiere for Toy Story 5, Taylor Swift showed up with an original VHS copy, her childhood copy of Toy Story, and had Tim Allen and uh, Tom Hanks to sign it for her, which was a sweet thing. And one of the things when I covered in the last Faith and Fandom Bite Size, the cancellation of Doctor Who. Um, Like a few folks commented that, it was the Christmas special that was canceled, not just the whole thing. From all the reports I've been reading, it's the whole show is on canceled, to the effect that they're shopping it around. They're trying to see who would be interested as a company to buy it and to run it and to do these things. And it's the showrunner has left. There are no plans immediately for what will come next or who would take it over. And the reports, according to IGN as of yesterday, is that it could be up to 5 years before you see Doctor Who on a screen again. Uh, WWE's Chelsea Green will be starring in a movie called The Red Wedding, alongside one of the Culkin brothers and what was there's another young lady's name, the woman who is the main female lead from the Terrifier franchise. So it will be Rory Culkin, Chelsea Green, and the young lady from the franchise, Lavera is her name. So that's going to be an interesting movie. Red Wedding will be coming out in the nearest future. Uh, in the Absolute Comics world, Cassandra Cain will be getting her one shot coming out as of December, and honestly, it looks fantastic. There was a Go Knicks, Parker the Prayer Warrior. Um, I've got zero investment in a basketball scenario, but for the sake of argument, go Knicks. Tristan, good morning, dude. Um, but yeah. Uh, Christian singer-songwriter Victory Boyd has had a year-long lawsuit with Travis Scott after she alleged that he stole her song Telekinesis. And the lawsuit was dragging on for over the better part of a year. Um, and there was apparently clear proof, but in terms of whose lawyers are going to win, an indie Christian artist versus one of the biggest selling rap artists of all time, it's not likely that she was going to go down swinging. So she dropped her lawsuit, gifted Travis Scott her favorite Bible, and forgave him. His response to that was to apologize, but not in a way that gets him legally bound to penalties. But he is now officially working with her in the studio. Didn't turn off my alarm, so there's a 1 second of ring collective for you. Um, Travis Scott is now working in the studio with Victory Boyd on the song that he stole from her and releasing and giving her credit for the proper song. So it's a good turn of events. One of the biggest points in geek and pop culture this week was the release of the trailer for The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time remake for the Nintendo Switch 2. The Nintendo Switch 2 has been one of those things where a lot of people are like, I don't need it. Why do I need this? And instantly, when you say that there's an Ocarina of Time remake, all the people have the reasons why they need one. And like, I'm excited. Let me play not play that out. I am very excited about the idea of an Ocarina of Time remake. I just don't want to have to do the Water Temple again because the Water Temple is a great source of tyranny and PTSD in my life. But it looks great, but I've honestly been getting like emotional watching people's responses to the trailer of being excited for these things. So to all the Zelda fans, I'm excited with you. Drops this year. While it's not listed as a Barbie, Rhea Ripley is now the first woman to hold all major wrestling titles. That's not new. She's been that first woman to hold all major wrestling titles, but now she is the first person to get a Mattel doll alongside of it. Again, they're not labeling it a Barbie, but it is the people that make Barbie are making a WWE collector doll of Rhea Ripley, and it honestly looks fantastic. Like, if I can afford this, this will be on a shelf somewhere. But it looks great. Uh, at the CMA Fest that took place in Nashville, Brandon Lake brought out CC Winans, Dan and Shay, Jamie McDonald, and a few others for a Sunday morning worship set in downtown Nashville, which was pretty cool. The Cleveland Browns linebacker and 2025 Defensive Rookie of the Year, Carson Schweichinger, was baptized in Cleveland. Um, at an event organized by his teammates, including Sheridan Sanders, or I said that wrong, Shador Sanders. But this was in Ohio this past weekend. Did I do that twice? Yeah, there you go. Earlier this week, the flag flew off of the WWE headquarters in Connecticut and caught fire on power lines. That's not a great life choice. One of the other game announcements that seems deeply overshadowed now by Zelda is the fact that there will be a Last Ronin video game based on the Ninja Turtles coming out from Paramount Games with the tagline All Vengeance, No Peace. Join the resistance. So thelastronin.com, you can check that out for more details. Um, The always controversial Mark Driscoll has threatened legal action after men and women's ministry leaders resigning from his church and taking contacts. This is literally an episode of The Office. This is um, Charles Minor being mad at Michael for taking business contacts. One of the things that happened almost immediately after last week's news broadcast is Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Ted Lasso actor Anthony Head passed away, and that was announced last Friday afternoon. And there's a few more. Let me back this up, but yeah, there was a lot going on with that. Let's see, we were here. South Korea's ex-president Yoon has been sentenced to 30 years in prison for sending drones into North Korea, which is crazy. A riot broke out at the Mexico City's opening of the World Cup, including Molotov cocktails being thrown, and people being forcibly pushed back as the ceremony began in protest. Um, one of the most successful growing social gatherings in Chicago is now the Scream Club, where people gather at the coast and all scream as a way to release angst, anxiety, frustrations, and they all gather together just to scream. And people said they feel a million times better after doing this on a regular basis. So I don't blame you. Michael Jackson biography has become Lionsgate's highest grossing film ever, surpassing $900 million worldwide. So congratulations, Lionsgate. My kids watched that movie twice and have been singing Michael Jackson songs on a regular basis. And on that note, Billie Jean has now topped the global Spotify charts for this week, being back at number one, which is also still kind of bananas. Um, Ariana Grande and Ethan Slater broke up after 3 years of dating. The Wicked co-stars, had a tumultuous situation starting the relationship, and now they've officially broken up 3 years later. Um, oh, I don't even want to mention this, but here we go. If you're aware, this past Saturday was 6/7, the middle schooler thing. And while visiting Madrid on Saturday, someone did the 6/7 gesture to Pope Leo, And Pope Leo responded by redoing the 6-7 gesture back to him. So now we have footage of Pope Leo doing 6-7, which will be meme material for years to come. Tokyo is now issuing on the spot littering fines. If you litter on the spot and are seen, you will be instantly charged $13 for littering on the spot, which honestly is not a bad life choice. I like that. There was a terrible 7.8 magnitude earthquake that hit the Philippines earlier this week. 32,000 people were displaced after the earthquake hit, and 32,000 people were displaced. 37 people were killed, which it's a bad earthquake. Yeah. Uh, there has been arguments and controversy regarding the jury and trial of Carmelo Anthony, the 19-year-old young man who uh, was found guilty of murder of his track star or of his track meet partner's uh, death after stabbing him. And while that's the point of the part of him doing it is not really up for debate. That's on video. Everybody saw it happen. But it was, was it murder? Was it things with the people debate? But one of the things that's being argued is that African American young man was on a trial with an all Caucasian jury, and then people are arguing the fact, but like I get that that wasn't exactly a jury of his peers, and that's a failure of the legal system in that capacity. But the dude's literally on video murdering another person out of anger. So yeah, not the best way to handle it, but still, I don't know what the outcome would have changed in a different way. Um, there was a situation that happened last week with the Pentagon removing hundreds of religions from the recognized religious list, which does affect their ability for servicemen and women to be properly identifying their faith. And with that, a bunch of religions were removed down to 30 or to a lower number. I'm not going to remember the number. I'm not going to guess. But people were upset that Mormons were not included on the list of Christian religions. Um, and they went on to clarify this week that the reason is not because that Mormons are technically polytheistic, not monotheistic. It's a weird thing when the government starts qualifying whose religion is valid versus the other, even just on a legal scale. That's super sketchy. Kelly says that Ging's niece, who's in the Philippines, she thought it was the end of the world. Well, dude, I'm glad that Ging's nieces made it out. Um, but yeah, I can imagine an earthquake that hard would feel like the end of the world. Red Lobster is giving away one lucky fan will earn endless shrimp for 25 years. They are doing a limited time endless shrimp promotion, but one fan will get endless shrimp for the rest of their life or a cash payout of $15,000. I would take $15,000 over endless shrimp. I think I would get sick of eating shrimp real fast. A Texas man, Winston Love, 28, was convicted of organized retail theft with a weapon after he uh, was linked to more than $300,000 in stolen Legos. The dude organized the armed robbery of more than $300,000 worth of Legos. A CEO named Matt King biked 2,000 miles across the U.S., giving away $1 million to strangers along the way. So he biked from one side of the country to the other, and his goal was across this 2,000-mile bike ride to give away $1 million to the strangers that he met. So expect a movie of this story later with starring Tom Hanks, because that's totally going to be a thing. Um, if you are a fan of just classic video game fun. It's been announced this week that Switch Sports Resort will be coming out this October for the Switch 2. So, Wii Sports Resort was quite the banger, and Switch Sports Resort, I'm sure, will be great as well. The Sandlot cast will be reuniting for a new baseball TV series called Dugout Dads. That would see Patrick Renna as a little league coach dealing with unruly parents and coaches. So we're effectively getting an unauthorized Sandlot sequel called Dugout Dads. There's a new Xbox exclusive Gears of War E-Day that will be coming out soon. And for the Netflix series of, let me get the name right. I forgot the name. I'm gonna not gonna write it's not my notes, but there's a new Scooby-Doo, younger Scooby-Doo series on Netflix that's live action, and it is the first time in history that Scooby-Doo is being portrayed by an actual live dog, um, a little Great Dane puppy. So it's cute. Uh, Again, not gonna be over. It's completely overshadowed by the announcement of Ocarina of Time. There is a Resident Evil Veronica announced. That's it. That's our news for the week. Um, while I do need to skedaddle on to the show floor and get ready for HeroesCon, I just want to, I'm not doing the whole dice and everything today just because everything's at my booth. So I just want to read this one verse to you. It's First Corinthians 9, uh, 20, uh, let's do 19 through 23. Um, 1 Corinthians 19, sorry, 1 Corinthians 9, 19 through 23. It says, though I am free and belong to no one, I have made myself a slave to everyone to win as many as possible. To the Jews, I became like a Jew to win the Jews. To those under the law, I became like one under the law, though I myself am not under the law, so as to win those under the law. To those not having the law, I have become like one not having the law, though I am not free from God's law, but am under Christ's law, so as to win those not having the law. To the weak, I became weak. To win the weak, I have become all things to all people, so that by all possible means I might save some. I do this for the sake of the gospel, that I may share in its blessings. And the N64 game, yes, they are remaking Ocarina of Time as a new high def game for the Switch too. And it'll be coming out in 2026. Um, but yeah. Uh, I just love this passage. I think it's a good reminder to all of us to have the heart of we should be here not just for ourselves, not just for our own successes, but for the fact that we're supposed to be here for the sake of others and to help them, to love them, to minister to them right where they're at. I want to take a moment to thank our Patreon supporters before I bounce. I want to thank the Reynolds family for your incredible encouragement and support. Um, and the James family. What's up, James family? I've been talking to you guys this week. But the James family and let's see, I'll read all the tiny names. But the Reynolds family, Zach T, uh, I've got to click on the right button. Roshan John, Ryan Felton, Jessica Luttrell with Cosplay for Christ, Jackie Kraft, Kelly Townsend, Alan Wallace, Fab Quack, Rivka and Tristan Birch, Dot Winston, Michelle Stewart, who I'll see at HeroesCon this weekend, Miss Lynn Turner, who I'll see at HeroesCon this weekend, David Brooks, Jeff Weimer, Jamie Montgomery, the Coleman family, Jonathan Herman, Ron Petit, uh, Gear Saber Cosplay, who's about to have a Sith baby any moment, or at least I think y'all are about to have a baby. Scott Ward, Alicia Glenn, Jason Crutchfield, Mike Perna, Zach Harris, Caleb Grimm, Jeanette Skaggs, Jason Bullock, Christina Ray, or sorry, not Christina Ray. Best of luck, Christina Ray. Sarah Lewis. I'm just so used to her name coming right after Jason Bullock. Sarah Lewis, Patrick Gale, Rebecca Godlove, and Adam Davis. Thank you all for your support, your encouragement, and doing all the great things that you do. It's going to be a big weekend. This is the second biggest show I'll do all year. And it's also the first con that I've got the new adventure book, The Attorney, forgetting my own book name, um, at. So looking forward to see how this goes. But if you're at HeroesCon this weekend, make sure you stop by and say hey. And I look forward to seeing you all at a con real soon. Say our deuces out verse. Third John verse 2, dear friend, I pray that you may enjoy good health and that all may go well with you, even as your soul is getting along well. So that's my hope for you. And thank you all for taking time to listen on our little short morning broadcast today. And I hope to see you all at a con real soon. Bye.